Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Let's Talk Tuesdays podcast. My name is Brendan Plays, and this is the show that we answer all of the questions that you send in every single week on the Brendan Plays website at brendanplays.com/forums or in the YouTube comment section down below. You can also leave a voicemail by going over to brendanplays.com and clicking the big green button on the right-hand side of the page. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is another week in wrestling, and it is our first show of the year. 2016 finally has come around, and we can finally kick off the year with a pretty decent episode of Monday Night Raw. I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't really watch it all that intently. I kind of skipped through a lot of it because at the moment I'm still away. I'm still kind of not really in the loop right now. That'll still be the case for next week as well. I'm going to be heading back home on the 15th, but at the moment right now I'm still going to be away. And it just means I'm not really able to watch all the things I want to watch. I know New Japan just had Wrestle Kingdom 10. I wouldn't mind checking out a few matches on that. Fortunately, I didn't get a chance to do it this week. Maybe the next couple of weeks I'll check that out. And yeah, I can't really watch too much of Raw. I wanted to watch the season finale of Breaking Ground as well on the network. Didn't really get a chance to watch that. I am caught up to last week though, and I really enjoy that show, so I want to check out the finale there. But I'm not exactly caught out with everything that's been going on, but I did get a chance to watch majority of Raw, and I know some big news has happened this week as well in terms of New Japan. A few of their top tier guys potentially coming over to the WWE, so we'll be talking about that today as well. A couple surprises that happened on Raw this week as well. A couple twists and turns, a lot of different things happened. It was a different show, I guess. I mean, we kind of learned a few different things, and some, I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. No complaints from me. So we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about what is going to happen at the Royal Rumble as well. And I'll let you guys know what's going on this week as well. I mean, I've been doing a lot of house hunting, closing in on getting a new place. So right now, I went and looked at 3 houses today, and on Saturday I looked at a house as well. I did get one approved, so I can potentially move in to that, but I'm going to probably look at a different one and maybe try and get that one. I'm going to be looking at 2 more houses on Thursday, so right now I'm very, very close to be getting my own place, and probably in the next 2 weeks I'll have my own place, done deal, and maybe at the start of February I'll be all settled in, and maybe I might move in. Maybe I might wait until near the end of March to move in, but right now, very close to having my own place and very close to having good internet. It's incredible. I know I've been waiting for the internet upgrade at my other house where I normally am, which is going to be happening on the 20th of January, but now I'll be having my own place, and I was originally just going to move into a place that was going to be close to where I needed to be, but didn't have the good internet. But I decided, look, you know what? I'm willing to drive the extra distance to go to where I need to go every day, to go to college every day, and have better internet. I can stream more, and upload videos faster. So right now we're very, very close to getting a place that meets that criteria. So very exciting. We'll talk more about that one later on. But yeah, so a few things have been going on this week. I haven't really had a chance, like I said, to the videos I know have been lacking a little bit. Again, I haven't really had much of a chance to kind of get too much time into making videos, which is kind of frustrating because right now, until I have my own place, it's, my time is just kind of divided. I don't really have the time just to kind of sit down and just go into it. I know a lot of people are wanting to see more videos from me, and trust me, I want to get more out. And, I had a few complaints today on my new episode of Universe Mode that I put out yesterday, that some of the things I was doing wasn't professional enough, wasn't good enough. And, I get that. I mean, really it's because of the fact I just don't have a lot of time. I would like to do more, do more and make it better. I just don't have enough time to kind of do that. So I just kind of get by with what I can do. Because otherwise, if I devote that extra time, then it's going to be even longer of a wait to get that episode out. And I want to try and get as many out as I can. And plus, also, right now, I don't have much internet. Since I'm away at the moment, I don't really have much internet. So I'm kind of very limited on what I can and cannot do. So it's kind of a little frustrating right now as well. But a few things are going against me at the moment, but we are getting by and we're getting there. And we had a pretty good episode of Monday Night Raw. So before we get to Raw, we might as well kick it off with the big news. Let's get straight into the show this week. So let's kick it off with the big news. Shinsuke Nakamura Carl Anderson, Doc Gallows, and AJ Styles are reportedly coming to the WWE. They reportedly have signed deals. There's been some teasers put on Twitter by, I know, Anderson. He's done a few things on Twitter saying the Bullet Club's going to be reunited, talking to Finn Balor, which is pretty cool. Honestly, I've never really been a fan of the Bullet Club, and I say that because I haven't really tried. I haven't really gotten into it. New Japan, for me, I just can't get into it. The foreign commentary makes it difficult to kind of understand what's going on, learn the backstories, learn things like that. Last year when they did Wrestle Kingdom 9 with JR on commentary, I really enjoyed that show because, I could understand, he could tell me what was going on. He could, I could see and know what's going on in the ring as well. So, just watching plain straight up matches isn't for me. That's just not what I get out of wrestling. I enjoy the storyline aspect. I enjoyed the blood feud aspect between it. And if I can't really understand what's going on because it's a foreign language, it's difficult for me to kind of get into that. But, so I haven't really given New Japan much of a chance, and I probably never will. So I know big things have been happening over there. I know it's been a very hot product right now. I know the Tokyo Dome, I don't know if it's sold out the other day, but I know generally they get a lot of people in there. So they do very, very well for themselves over there, and that's great to see that at least somewhere else other than the US is having a very successful market. I know UK does okay as well. They get some, a couple thousand people for their little indie shows, but nothing like Japan does at all. But it's great to see that wrestling is, it can be successful elsewhere. And if you don't have the WWE, I guess you have some kind of alternative there. And you probably would say they're the number 2 company in the world right now. And many would argue they have the best product right now. I know a lot of people that watch the product, generally quite biased, but will, come and say, look, this is great. This is way better than WWE. And right now, honestly, anything's better than WWE. Watching paint dry sometimes is watching better than the WWE. And mind you, to be fair, the last few shows I've enjoyed. I can't complain too much. But yeah, so I haven't really given the Bullet Club much of a chance. I know they're just kind of like an NWO ripoff, from a close, far away view, I should say. Just kind of looking at it, a small glimpse. All right, they do the Too Sweet thing and whatever. They wear the black and the white. Kind of looks like an NWO ripoff, whatever. But yeah, so I have really no interest in Anderson and Gallows. Doc Gallows has been around, when he came in. I just don't really care, honestly. To be honest, they're two guys I just have no interest in. But, it'll be interesting to see, will they go to NXT? I don't think they will. They may. I don't know. That's the thing that I want to know. Will Styles and Nakamura go to NXT? Styles is up there in age. The thing is, will they go to NXT and be NXT guys? Will they be Samoa Joe? Will we see Styles and Samoa Joe again in NXT? Which would be great. No, don't get me wrong, it'll be great. But will they be NXT guys, or will they treat these guys as genuine stars, for their main roster? And I'm not exactly sure what would be the best move right for them. NXT has a few holes to replace. There's a gap there. There's some guys who probably are looking to moving up soon. Sami Zayn's due to go up again. Finn Balor, you could perhaps move him up in the next 6 months. So there's a few top spots available. There's no doubt about that. So they do need to replenish that. And bringing in Styles, Nakamura, and Gallows and Anderson, you bring in 4 guys who've been around, have certainly been around everywhere. And you give them, a real chance to kind of, shine in NXT. I think, since Gallows, we've kind of seen him around before, probably a good idea. I don't know. I think I could see them just getting him back on the main roster again. And would they do a Bullet Club? No, they couldn't because obviously copyright. But, maybe they'll have those two as a tag team perhaps. And that wouldn't be a bad idea because, NXT and WWE, either one, they could always use some more tag teams. Certainly WWE, the main roster. As for Nakamura and Styles, the two I have more interest in. Obviously, AJ Styles. I was never a massive fan of Styles. Obviously, a fan of his work. But I wouldn't say I would tune into TNA for AJ Styles. But when he was on, not bad. When he did the whole silent gimmick thing in TNA, I kind of enjoyed that. I thought that was pretty cool. So there's been some times I certainly have enjoyed AJ Styles, and I've always been intrigued. I've always wanted to see what he would do in the WWE, how would he do, because there's so many dream matchups that you could do with AJ Styles in the WWE. Look at the matchup between Styles and Cesaro, Styles and Rollins, Styles and Bryan, Styles and Kevin Owens. a lot of great matchups that you could have there. So definitely AJ Styles in the WWE is a great fit. I think it fits like a glove, honestly. I just don't think they'll do much with him. I think it'll be very similar to Samoa Joe. They'll bring him in, hype him up big time, and be a top-tier name that can draw on the independent market, for NXT. I don't think they see him as, the next, John Cena or anything like that. No doubt about that. He's too old probably for that position. But he has a notable name. He's been working New Japan. He's been working Ring of Honor. He's been working the independent circuit. So I think they could see him as a draw for NXT in that circuit, because, a smaller show, a spot show, whatever NXT wants to be, they generally are trying to appeal to that independent hardcore wrestling market. And I think AJ Styles will certainly be a perfect fit for that, because, he's been doing it for such a long time now, and obviously being in TNA for a long time, he's had a lot of TV time. Mind you, I guess you could say it's TNA. Not a lot of people still are not aware of AJ Styles. I've talked to some people, recently, people on my forums. They've never watched an AJ Styles match ever, which is, kind of mind-blowing to me that they've never watched an AJ Styles match. And just goes to show they never watched TNA. But, Styles has had some great matchups, and he's still having some good matchups to this day. So I think Styles in the WWE is a very, very good decision. I know he was kind of thinking about going, I think maybe last year or so, but they really offered him peanuts to come in. They didn't really give him a good, price tag. So you're probably wondering why now? Why all of a sudden have they changed their mind? Have they started to finally see the appeal in these guys from TNA and Ring of Honor and whatnot? These guys that have been around the block, like your Samoa Joes, your James Storms, are they starting to see the appeal in these guys? Mind you, they haven't used James Storm again. So they're starting to see the appeal in these guys. Look, hey, these guys have experience. They can work with our, younger guys, be this veteran role, be this mentor role, but also put on great matchups and be a draw for our product. I think they're starting to get it. I think they're starting to realize, look, if we have all these guys who are just green as grass on NXT, quickly, a lot of these fans are going to go away. There's not going to be the high level of product that people want to see. And all these interesting, new, and exciting names, you're just going to see guys who are green with poor gimmicks and, can't work. That's what you're going to see, and that will immediately turn people off the product, because if the product isn't good, because, again, it's WWE, it's still a branch of WWE, the product needs to be a high quality. I get it if you're working at, going to a high school gym, and a guy who's working his third match in his life, and he doesn't have a good match, fair enough, but if you're having NXT in the WWE, you would expect the quality to be very, very high, so I guess that they're kind of bringing in all these guys from the independents, not only to deplete that, we'll talk about that in a second, but to boost up NXT and give and retain that high level of quality. Because, look, Apollo Crews versus AJ Styles would be off the chain. Finn Balor versus AJ Styles, my goodness, how good would that be? So, a lot of really insane matchups you could do there. And I think Styles has a lot of value. And honestly, I don't see the issue in bringing in these guys. I don't know why they haven't done it more often. Yeah, I get it, they're 35 plus, 35 to 40, I get that. That's kind of like, no touch zone. They've got so many years on their body, they haven't got long to go, but I don't really see the, if they can work at a high quality, as good as anyone. I don't really see the problem in kind of bringing him in. I mean, not everyone can be around for 10 years, and hell, you could bring in a 25-year-old, and he could be, the drizzling shit. Bring in a 25-year-old, can't work, and hey, he might get injured 3 years down the line, you can't use him. So why not have a guy who can work, can do it, bring him in, and use him? I think it's going to have much more effect. You're going to have an immediate effect as well, because you can have these guys who can have an immediate impact, no pun intended, immediate impact on your product whilst you're molding and building all these other guys. So I think the decision to bring in AJ Styles is a smart one. I wouldn't mind seeing the likes of Austin Aries, for example, come in. I know Bobby Roode's still on contract. Perhaps he's probably past it now. I don't think that maybe there's not as much value in bringing him in, but you guys get what I mean. These guys who can work on the indies, who are great, why not bring them back in? And maybe Chris Hero again, you could probably try him. I know he's got an attitude problem again, perhaps maybe not. Maybe that ship has sailed. Maybe sour grapes there, but Maybe, but bringing in some guys who are working the indies and are doing well, and obviously you look at the success in the last maybe 5 years. You look at Daniel Bryan being one of their top guys, CM Punk, one of their top tier guys, Seth Rollins. A lot of these guys have been on the independents. You know, your Dean Ambrose, your Kevin Owens, your Cesaros, who have come in and really made a major impact. So I think they're starting to get it now. They're starting to realize that using guys who have been around is having a much better effect than bringing in ex-footballers who can't work. And it's going to take 3-4 years to, get them to the point where they can work. Look at Roman Reigns, ex-footballer. It's probably taken him until now, at that 5-year mark that he's been wrestling, for him to really start to get going and starting to produce some good quality. So bringing in guys who are ready right now is not a bad idea. And as for Nakamura, I haven't watched a lot of his matches, but I heard so much about him. And I think he's, got that strong style. I think he's going to bring something different to the table. And I just kind of fear, though, that the foreign gimmick, the foreign character is going to be slapped on him like we see so many times. And they always tend to struggle to get foreign guys over. And that's the big problem that they've had. Look, they can't even get Cesaro to the point where he's the man, and just because he was Swiss. I think if Cesaro was American, he'd probably be the top guy right now in the company. And a lot of British guys, they struggle to get over as well. And, in the past, Japanese guys have a very poor record. Probably, Tajiri might be the only real successful one in recent times. Yoshitatsu certainly wasn't successful. Hideo Itami is still yet to be decided. So I just hope they do something great with this guy. I think he's got a lot of potential, a lot of talent. I've seen a little bit of his matches, but not enough to really I can, say too much. So that's why I want to see more. I want to see this guy in NXT. I really want to see how he goes. And I think a guy like him, he and Styles in NXT will certainly get me very interested in watching the product. And I know I kind of said a lot when they brought in Samoa Joe. I was kind of like, yeah, that's it. I'm going to start watching now. And I never really got to it. I never really have just gotten invested in NXT. Kind of watched the TakeOver specials. That's really about it. But perhaps, I just would love to see what they do with, Styles and Nakamura. And who knows? I said it on my forums today. I thought, hey, AJ Styles in the Royal Rumble could happen. The problem they face is, will people know who AJ Styles is? I think maybe 35% of the crowd probably would. But it depends on where they're at. I'm not sure where the Royal Rumble is this year, but it would definitely depend on that. And hey, I think it'd be pretty cool. Honestly, if you bring back AJ Styles, you debut AJ Styles in the Royal Rumble, it'd be something huge. And we don't really see too many surprise debuts or anything like that in the Rumble anymore. And again, we don't really see that many surprise debuts anymore because they have to go through the NXT system. And you kind of have established you kind of know who these guys are, so it's not really much of a huge surprise. Like, oh my god, I can't believe this guy's now in the WWE. You don't really see that too much anymore because of the NXT, and which is one of the negatives towards it. You don't really see a surprise, somebody from developmental coming up you'd never really heard of. Obviously, Braun Strowman, the most recent example of that, but that's going to be a rarity from now on. You're not really going to see that too often. They're not going to get fast-tracked to the main roster too often. So that's why I think that's probably the only real negative towards NXT, because you're not going to see that surprise debut all that often. But in the end, I think this is a great signing. Obviously, I'm not sure if this is actually official yet. I know I read a lot of reports, a lot of rumors have been all over Twitter today that it is pretty much confirmed right now. So it just kind of makes you wonder, did they give AJ Styles the right contract? Did they give Nakamura the right contract? Because obviously leaving New Japan, they're the top tier guys over there in Japan. They've got to be getting some decent cash to make the jump. So perhaps WWE have decided they feel as though these guys are worth the money, they're worth the time, they're worth the investment. Because in the end, if you've got a great NXT product, people are going to subscribe to the network to check it out. And if you have guys worth watching on NXT, that's going to make you money. That's going to make you network subscriptions. And in the end, that's going to be worth the contract that you're paying for these guys. And not only that, I think another reason why they're bringing in these guys, now that I mentioned it, they're working a lot more dates for NXT. They're doing a lot more tours, doing a lot more big shows. They've already announced a lot of these takeover specials coming up this year. So they are certainly amping up the amount of shows they're doing for NXT, which I think, again, is a great thing, but also a bad thing. The great thing is you get more NXT, obviously, and the guys that, they need the experience, they get that experience, because you can't really work in the Performance Center and kind of learn. You need to be on there, need to be in front of a crowd to get that experience. But again, in saying that as well, working too many shows could, get a lot of wear and tear on some guys who probably don't really need it. Like a Finn Balor, having him work every single show every night, I don't think is a really good idea, certainly at this stage of the game in NXT. I don't think these guys should be working every single day. I think these guys should still be situated in Florida and kind of coming in, 5-6 days a week and training and not being on the road all that often. I still think they should be in the one place, going on the road for a couple days a week, or maybe 2 weeks out of the month they're on the road. That's kind of fine, but being on the road all the time, which is where I kind of fear that they may go to, might just be too much NXT, and I don't know, maybe it might cool off a little bit. But using these live shows to use some of their, these guys developing and kind of learning, I think is a good idea though, and getting those guys some more exposure and more time to kind of learn, I think is a good idea. But just kind of fearful that they might just do a little bit too much, because right now the WWE does way too many live shows for their main products. So I just hope they don't try and do too much with NXT, not expand it too much, because that, to me, is not the best idea. Because I think NXT, a reason why it's so popular is because it's just a 1 hour show, 1 hour of great content. If they try and expand it into too much, then you're going to lose that. You're going to lose that specialty to it. So, but anyways, we've kind of talked about NXT and all that way too much, but in the end, very excited. I think it's a great news for the WWE. But there's not really a lot of other news this week. We'll talk about Monday Night Raw now. We kicked off Monday Night Raw with the whole Reigns and McMahon kind of thing. We'll move on from that. Not really much to kind of take away from that. But I do want to say Kevin Owens and Dean Ambrose, it's heating up. I'm actually really liking this rivalry. It's just two guys who are there to beat the crap out of each other. And that's all it needs to be. Two guys who just want to fight. Ambrose wants to fight. Owens wants to fight. Great. I think it's great. And, two big personalities, two big characters battling it out. I'm really liking it. I think when these guys have a match at the Royal Rumble, most likely, I think it's going to be a hell of a match. I think it's going to be really, really good. I'm really liking it. I mean, I really like what they did last week. Kevin Owens losing like that, yeah, whatever. But, got his revenge in the end, and Ambrose and Kevin Owens battling it out throughout the night was good. But obviously these two just battling out again here on this show, and, Owens going through the table this time, and Ambrose kind of getting a bit of revenge from last week, kind of doing, a little bit what Owens did last week he kind of reversed the tables and did that this week. So I kind of like what they did there, kind of taunting away. So overall, this is probably my most... I probably would say I'm enjoying that rivalry the most right now. Owens and Ambrose. I think that's really, really good. And I think they keep that up, and hopefully they can keep it hot going into the Rumble and kind of keep improving it. I mean, a few more weeks to go, you could really make this rivalry fantastic, which would be fantastic to see. We finally learned this week that Charlotte is now a fully fledged heel, obviously cheating and failing to cheat to beat Becky Lynch and then beating her up after the match. She's finally decided she's a heel. So Charlotte has done the turned on Becky. And I was kind of thinking, well, wouldn't it be a decent idea for Paige to come along to say, look, Becky, look, I was right all along. You should have trusted me. Charlotte's no good. Perhaps Becky and Paige get back together as a group, as friends. That's certainly on the cards, I guess you could say. But like I said last week, I'm becoming a big fan of Becky Lynch, so I'm glad she's getting more TV time, more exposure. Looks as though we're going to see a Lynch versus Charlotte match at the Royal Rumble for the title. I don't believe Becky Lynch will win on that night. I just think, they like Charlotte too much. Got the Ric Flair in there, having him on TV more. I think they like that. And I just don't think they really see too much of Becky Lynch. I think Becky Lynch is going to be the forgotten diva. Let's be honest. I think, Sasha Banks still hasn't won the title. I don't think Becky Lynch is going to get anywhere near her. I think she's going to be that forgotten diva. Then after a year or two, they might go, oh, shit, Becky Lynch, we forgot about her. Let's do something with her. This kind of seems how they feel about her. They're not really seeing her as the top diva. And I mean, they haven't really had a lot of time to kind of position her as that, or position all these girls. That they kind of, right now the WWE they can really only do something with like 3 people. 3 people at a time in each kind of sector of the roster. Like 3 guys in the main event, 3 in the Divas. They can only really do something with a small portion of people. They can't just go, all right, we have 6 Divas who are freaking great. Let's build them all up and let's have a strong division of 6 women all fighting for that title, going after each other, battling it out, really putting on killer matches and really, trying to get for that title. Instead, it's always like, all right, 1 week it's Becky Lynch, who's looking strong going for the title. The next week it's Paige. The week after that it's Brie Bella. They can't make up their mind, and they don't really position all these girls all the time as, threats to these titles. So it's really only a couple, if maybe 3 at best, who are really kind of fighting around the title and looking like they could be threats. So that's the problem I think they have right now. They just haven't really booked in that way for a long time. Look at SmackDown. You had the SmackDown 6 when Paul Heyman was in charge. 6 guys, dominating, and you see it works. Recipe for success in an Attitude Era. You had Kane, Taker, Mankind, Rock, Austin, Triple H. 6 or whatever it was, really top tier main event level guys, all gunning for that title, and you could throw them in there at any time, and you go, all right, cool, fine, and you could accept that because these guys are credible enough. And right now, they just don't seem to have that. And I get it right now for the main event guys. Obviously, there's a lot of injuries that's happened. It's kind of going to take some time for that to happen. But even when we had, your Randy Ortons and your John Cena's and these other guys, they still weren't really positioning them like that. So that's another thing I would like to see them try and improve. Get more people to that stage of being contenders for that title. So Charlotte's now fully fledged heel. I'm glad they kind of sorted that out and they needed to fix that. Another thing that was kind of a little odd, a little out there, a little different, the social outcast. Curtis Axel, Bo Dallas, Adam Rose, Heath Slater. 4 men who are definitely social outcasts. 4 men who arguably nobody gives a shit about together. Curtis Axel, we haven't seen him since the Hulkamania thing. Axelmania thing, I should say. So he's randomly just back. He's just back. No Mizdow, by the way. Where is Mizdow? The Miz. Sandow, I should say. I'm used to calling him Mizdow because of W2K16, but Sandow. Where's Damien Sandow, by the way? You get Adam Rose, who's just drizzling shit. Bo Dallas, for a period of time was great. Curtis Axel will never be anything. He's done. But Sandow has value, but yet they still don't do anything with him. And I'm glad they're doing something with Heath Slater. Poor old Dolph Ziggler, though, took the pin. Yes, distraction, whatever. But poor old Dolph Ziggler, it was the punching bag for Heath Slater. Ooh, I think your career's gone pretty rough when you're getting beat by Heath Slater. So, don't expect Dolph Ziggler to get that push anytime soon, ladies and gentlemen. But, hey, a lower mid-card stable, I like it. It seems as though they're really liking their stables right now. You have the League of Nations, you got the Wyatt family, you had kind of like the family thing with the Reigns. That was short-lived, but, they're liking the stables. They're liking doing that. The Cosmic Wasteland, that's a little group they got going on sometimes when they feel like doing it. So they got a little stable there, and, the social outcast, I don't think it's going to really work. I like the chemistry a little bit there, like, when I think it was Adam Rose was just talking his crap, and he sort of like, what? And what is this guy saying? I kind of like that. So, 4 weird guys who just all grumpy and angry and just want an opportunity together, and, they're all just sooking and together, hey, give it a few weeks, we'll see how it goes. It could be funny, we never know. So, I'm going to give that a shot. And hey, at least they're trying to do something with these guys. It may only be short-lived. It may just be something for the Royal Rumble, have these comedy guys in the Rumble. I don't even know why I'm saying Royal Rumble, but maybe something just to give them something to do, and maybe just lasting 4-6 weeks, whatever it is. But let's see how it goes, and if it works, then they might actually do some of these guys. But I wouldn't mind seeing perhaps like doing a tag team. I would think Dallas and I don't know, maybe who would be the best fit there? Obviously, my universe mode, I have Bo Dallas and Adam Rose as a tag team, so I'm kind of biased there, thinking they would be good. But, I don't know. Heath Slater and Curtis Axel, I think maybe, I don't know. I think Dallas and Heath Slater would be a good pair, but I don't think Rose and Axel would be all that good, so I'm not sure. I think anybody with Heath Slater, I think, could work. I think Heath Slater can make it work, but I'm not sure. I don't think anybody can really work with Axel and Adam Rose. Ugh. So I'm not sure, but Adam Rose's gimmick I just hate it. It just gets to me. I don't know. What is his gimmick? Is he trying to be? No offense to the gays, but is he trying to be gay? Like, is that like his thing? I don't know. Like, what is he? What is he trying to do? Like, what is he? Like, is he a gay character? I mean, he likes. We had the Rose Dud segment that he was doing. I think they've obviously dropped that, where he's doing like the gossip thing for a while, for a couple of weeks, and I'm not sure. Like, what is Adam Rose right now? He was a party guy. Now he's the party pooper. Now he's like this really kind of gay, very very borderline acting gay character. I don't know. I don't know what the hell he is. I don't even think he knows what the hell he is. So it's hard to kind of even somewhat tolerate that character. But anyways, we'll see how that goes. We also had Chris Jericho return this week, and first of all, I want to say the commentary when Jericho returned was absolutely dreadful. Byron Saxton, oh my god, he's just terrible. I mean, it was like, oh, could it be? 20 seconds later, yeah, it's Chris Jericho. Then Michael Cole stepped in and made it bit decent, but oh my god, Byron Saxton, he's just dreadful. So the Chris Jericho return, a little surprising, yeah. I mean, it's surprising. I think it was kind of spoiled for me on Twitter, so when I was watching it, it wasn't that big of a surprise. But I guess perhaps he's just here for the Royal Rumble, maybe a WrestleMania feud. I'm not sure where we'll see him go. Perhaps at the Rumble he might do something there to kind of spark a feud. So even if it's just Jericho coming in, to do the Rumble, I think that's good. You got a big name in there, and I think that's not a bad idea. Would have it been better for him to return at the Rumble? I think he didn't want to do that. I can see Chris Jericho going, look, I returned at the Rumble a couple years ago. Let's do something different. So let's announce it ahead of time. And I think Jericho, that probably would have been his call. I think he would have said, look, I want to come in and do the Rumble, but I don't want to, do what I've already done. That was special a few years ago. Let's not try and replicate it. Let's do something different. I don't think the reaction he got was very mild. I think it was, almost polite. I don't think really the crowd cared. Mind you, the crowd wasn't that hot at all. And Jericho was doing his catchphrases, and he was trying his best to get the crowd into it. And they did it a little bit, but it was just not a hot crowd at all tonight. So, certainly Jericho tried his best. And I think him playing off the New Day was pretty good. I didn't mind that. So, I think Jericho on the Rumble's good. I think, we need some big names in there. Just kind of spice it up. Get some star power in there. And I wouldn't be surprised if Jericho comes in at maybe number 15 and makes it to the Final Four. Wouldn't surprise me. So, I think it's good. And I'm not sure if he'll be sticking around. But hey, even if he's just working the one show, I think that's good. And I'm sure these guys love working the Royal Rumble. I can see the Rumble being a very exciting and very fun night for everyone. So I'm sure a lot of people want to be involved in that. And if Jericho is free to do it, I'm sure he would love to do it. That's probably why he's doing it. So good to see him back. And speaking of returns, Brock Lesnar back next week as well. Announcing him ahead of time. And I get why. Obviously a ratings ploy, trying to get people to tune in next week, trying to keep those viewers, trying to remain strong. I get that, but at the same time, you're ruining that special moment. Wouldn't it be cool, whoever Lesnar's feuding with, or hey, when Big Show is throwing out all these guys, or the White family's kicking ass in there, here come, Brock Lesnar's music hits. Holy shit, Lesnar's here. And all these guys trying to, prove that they are going to win the Royal Rumble. Out comes Lesnar and throws them all over the top rope. Wouldn't that be awesome? In a big surprise moment. But instead, it's announced ahead of time, so we know he's going to be there. We're probably going to see Paul Heyman come out and announce that Lesnar's going to be in the Rumble. Lesnar's just going to stand there, look strong, look tough, and that'll be the end of it, which is generally what it always is. So, not expecting too much from that, but good to see him back anyways. And I hope he's going to be in the Rumble match. And honestly, he's my pick to win it right now. I just can't see anybody else. Oh wait, no, I'll take that back. Now that the title is now on the line in the Royal Rumble, now I can see Roman Reigns, retaining and keeping the title in that match. I would have said Lesnar was going to win the Rumble, but now I'm not so sure. So Roman Reigns now has to defend the title in the Royal Rumble match. First time since 92 that's happened. Well, the title's been on the line. It's in 92. I am all for this. I think this is a great idea, and what I can certainly predict seeing is that Triple H comes in at number 30. Roman Reigns and Triple H have a big, have a big fight, a big brawl at the end to close out the Rumble. I think that would be the perfect scenario. Predictable, yes, but the perfect scenario to set up for WrestleMania. Now, the question is, does Reigns win the title, or does Triple H win the title? Who is going to walk out as champion? Triple H is champion, authority champion, can hold up the title. He can do whatever the hell he wants to Roman Reigns, make him his bitch, make him do all this bullshit, to try and get his rematch. He has to overcome all these, different obstacles, the League of Nations, whoever they want to throw at him, has to overcome all this crap. But eventually he does, eventually gets there, and eventually gets his title shot at Triple H. Main event of WrestleMania, Triple H, Roman Reigns. Maybe a little bit, maybe the smart fans would, certainly hate that. I'm sure they would. But to me, that's a match I would love to see. It's a match I would definitely love to see. There's a good enough storyline there. There's a storyline there that you could do it. I'd love to see it. It's just a matter of, do they want to have Reigns have the belt, or do they want to have Triple H have the belt? Triple H having the belt would probably be a bad idea, let's be honest. He obviously not going to work live events. The belt's off live events, the biggest time of the year. Obviously, not the first time, but I just think Triple H he's probably not going to work Fastlane, probably not going to work any match until WrestleMania. Is that a good idea to have him have the belt? Maybe not, but he's going to be on TV every week at least, so it's not like he's not going to be around. So it could work. And obviously, him being the authority champion. Hey, Vince McMahon's been WWE champion before. So it certainly could work. And I think, at least it would be believable. You had the guy come in at the Rumble and win it. I wouldn't be saying, holy shit, I don't believe that. I mean, I wouldn't say it's ridiculous. So, Vince McMahon won a Royal Rumble as well. So let's be honest. It could happen. So I think it's probably the right storyline to do it if they wanted to do it. And I just think Roman Reigns defying the odds, coming in at number 1 and just beating everybody would be too predictable. It'd be unrealistic, let's be honest, for Roman Reigns to do that. You would probably want him to fail at the final hurdle. Would the final hurdle be Triple H, the big final boss? You get through everybody in the tower in Mortal Kombat, and finally the final boss is Triple H and you can't overcome him? Could be pretty cool. So I wouldn't be against it. And we'll have to wait and see what happens next. Will they bring back Triple H before the Rumble? I hope not. I would love to see him just come in as a surprise. And holy shit, here we go. Reigns and Triple H, they're going to get it on at the Rumble. I think that would be really cool. I think that'd be a great moment. And I think the crowd might react pretty well to that. Roman Reigns is doing pretty well. So certainly something I would love to see. So another little piece of news this week was the announcement of the NXT End of Year Awards. The first time ever they're doing this. So pretty much similar to what the Slammy Awards are, but it's not a gimmicky show. It's just straight up the best awards that make sense. Best competitor, best female, best male, best tag team, pay-per-view of the year or takeover of the year, and match of the year. Straight up awards that we want to know. None of this OMG moment of the year, best catchphrase of the year, best hashtag, none of that crap. Just straight up awards the way it should be. So I'm glad they're doing this. I'm glad it's not anything goofy, anything stupid involved. Straight up awards that make sense. So we'll start it off with the overall competitor of the year award. Now they already have all the nominees revealed for it, and I will go through it. So they have Finn Balor, Bayley, Kevin Owens, Sasha Banks, Samoa Joe, Charlotte, Sami Zayn, Becky Lynch, Tyler Breeze, and Asuka. So to me, I would probably put Sasha Banks, but you have to kind of wonder, you need to kind of vote for someone who's been there the entire year. So I originally said Sasha Banks because she had so many fantastic matches, and let's be honest, she only really missed out the last couple months. She had a lot of really incredible matches, and I think she did so much for the women's division in NXT this year. I think probably a little bit more than what Bayley did. So to me, I think Sasha Banks had the best impact on NXT this year and really transcended and really created something very special down there. So to me, Sasha Banks wins that. Male competitor of the year, I think it's pretty clear. Probably Finn Balor would be the one. Kevin Owens just spent way too much time on the main roster. Samoa Joe didn't really do much. Sami Zayn out for the entire year pretty much, and Tyler Breeze was the other nominee. Well, yeah, he did not too much. So Finn Balor for me. Female competitor of the year. Now, this is where I'm going to say something different because I think overall competitor, yes, Sasha Banks, but I'm just going to say Bayley for female competitor of the year. And I don't know, I guess you could say Sasha should probably win that as well. But I just think, I don't know, maybe give it to Bayley. I don't know. I mean, maybe Sasha gets the top prize, Bayley gets the secondary one. I don't know, but I would give it to Bayley. Tag Team of the Year, I didn't really pay attention too much to the tag team, so I'd probably, just by default, give it to Enzo and Cass. Takeover of the Year, rival Brooklyn, respect or London, I would give it to Brooklyn. Obviously, the massive crowd, incredible show. Match of the Year, there's a lot of matches. They mentioned they've got a lot of matches actually listed down here. I don't know if it's a lot of matches, but it's just, they've put where all the events are from, what type of match it's been, all the competitors. It's just like a lot of crap to read out. So I'm just going to say Bayley versus Sasha Banks at TakeOver Brooklyn. I think that was an incredible matchup. So that's pretty much the awards there. Simple, easy, done. So the way I like it to be, and I think NXT had a pretty great year. And whilst I'm not an avid watcher of it, I can still appreciate the product and really respect the product and enjoy the product when I do check it out. So I think NXT, I'm kind of worried, would they be able to keep the momentum going? But I think they did. I don't think they will have, well, maybe now if Styles and Nakamura is there, like I said, I think maybe this year should be pretty bright as well. But it's going to be hard. I think this might be the year of Apollo Crews, though. I think we're going to see him break out this year and really, really show us what he can do. And I think my prediction for the end of the year would be Apollo Crews, NXT Superstar of the Year. So in the comments below, let me know who you think your Superstar of the Year will be for NXT. And let me know who you think the Superstar of the Year will be for the WWE main roster as well. So let me know who do you think is going to have the best year in the WWE this year. Diva and male competitor, whoever. Alrighty, so let's move on to what has Brendan been up to this week? What have I been doing in terms of gaming? Like I said, a lot of house hunting this week. Like I said, very close to getting a place. Potentially could be buying a house. Obviously not me, my parents, buying a house in the area I want to live in. Or just renting. Probably right now I'm going to be renting for the short term. But it's just exciting, getting your own place. I mean, I'm not going to be paying for it because I don't have a job. But just getting in and living on my own, for the first time, I think would be very exciting. I've been living on campus, college campus by myself, but this is a full-fledged, my own house, bills to pay, a legitimate, house. 3-bedroom place is what I'm looking at. The master bedroom for me. I'm going to have my own room for an office, for my own setup, so I'm going to have a pretty cool setup, hopefully. Go all out there, have, a big setup, and have a lot of space for it, which would be really exciting. And in another room for just a spare bedroom, I guess. And then you have the living area and the kitchen and a couple of bathrooms. So that's kind of like the places that I'm looking at. Pretty much have that. It's a pretty common trend there. So I've got a couple of places looking at on Thursday. And then, like I said, probably on the weekend, I might know where I'm going to be living this year, which would be pretty crazy. I mean, I've had a really rough time of it on campus. I just don't like college campus because I'm a very quiet person. I'm a very shy person. I'm very introverted. I keep to myself. Not that outgoing at all. Just kind of, I do me. Look after me. Keep to myself. I can do that well, and I like doing that. So, living on my own is something that I've always kind of wanted to do, and I'm really excited to do it. And like I said, high-speed internet, so which means I'm going to be doing streaming a lot, making more videos. So really, like I said, I think last week, this could be the big year for my channel. So I'm very excited to bring that to you. And it really, I really I need to get that computer as well. Like I mentioned last week, I still need to kind of look into that. But after I get this house organized, then I can start looking for that. So right now, I'm just kind of in the transition mode, but very soon, probably in the next month or so, I should be getting settled into my new place, and things are going to be really, really exciting. This week as well, also went to a Big Bash game, went to the Sydney Thunder game versus the Brisbane Heat, so that was really fun as well. Unfortunately, the Thunder lost. That was really lame. Big Thunder fan, and first time I ever got to see the Thunder play, and I've been a Thunder fan since day one, the first ever game. And unfortunately, they lost, and they had a very good score. They looked very good. Hussey and Watson made some good runs. I was pretty confident. I was like, yeah, no, I think we can do this. Our bowling, we got some pretty good bowlers. I think we should be fine. Callis getting injured kind of let us down, and Chris Lynn went absolutely nuts. He's just an absolute machine. So I was pretty depressed, pretty devastated after that. First time ever seeing the Thunder, and they lose. But hey, it wouldn't be a Sydney Thunder game if they didn't lose. So I'm so used to them losing, I guess you just come to expect it. So it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. And the Big Bash, if you live in Australia and you can get to a Big Bash game, do it. It is so much fun. It is probably the best fun you'll have at a cricket game. I mean, to me, I always love Test cricket. It will always be my favourite, but I don't like International 2020, but Big Bash is really, really good, really exciting, very good quality of games, very, very fun. So definitely check that out if you can. And in terms of gaming this week, we had a bit of gaming. We had a few sessions. My trophy competition that I was been running on the forums ended, so I kind of went ballistic at the end of the competition, trying to get as many trophies as I can. I got a new platinum on Minecraft, so check out my second channel, Brendan's Platinum, so check out that platinum. So I got a new platinum, which is great. Very pleased about that. So that makes my 61st platinum. I played the Order 1886 for a little bit. Very close on finishing up Assassin's Creed 4 as well. Still, I've got to do a lot of grinding and get a lot of the money. I'm kind of grinding as well, getting all the treasure maps and all the upgraded parts as well for my ship. So a lot of grinding involved before I can finish that off, and I just haven't really had a lot of time to kind of do that. But yeah, so that's kind of the plan right now. Just kind of finishing up a few of those games. I guess when I finish Assassin's Creed 4, I might move on to Unity. But other than that, really haven't been playing not too much else. I've got a few games for Christmas, but I haven't really got around to playing them. Like I said, I got Syndicate and Until Dawn. Also got Just Cause 3, a bit of Need for Speed. So a few other games I haven't really had a chance to kind of play too much of. But yeah, so I'm just kind of trying to pick off a few games from my backlog. Got so many games that I've got, I just haven't got around to playing. So I'm trying to pick a few of them off before I move on to anything new and never get back to these old ones. So it's good to get Minecraft done. I actually did pretty much everything on Minecraft a year ago, and I didn't play it for an entire year. And I just kind of had an urge to play it because I needed some extra points in my trophy competition, and I was very close to the platinum to begin with. So I just kind of forced myself to get on it and play it. I'm not a big Minecraft fan. I did enjoy it. I probably put 40 hours into it. I did enjoy it. But the thing is, once I run out of things to do, like I create my house, I build my house, I build a big minecart track, I kind of run out of things to do because I'm not that advanced, I'm not that creative, I don't know what else to do, so I got really bored of it, I just didn't know what to do. So it's good when you have things to do, but when you don't have anything to do, it's pretty boring. So mining things over and over, it just kind of sucks. So yeah, it's not a bad game. Like, I don't think I'll ever play Minecraft again, honestly. I think I am completely done and dusted with Minecraft. I deleted it off my PS4. It's never to be played again. But in the end, it's not for me, but I can see why it's popular. And if you like it, well, that's fine by me. Alright, so we have a few questions this week that we're going to run through. So this first one comes from White Guy 11. Who is the most entertaining NBA player to watch in your opinion? Now, I haven't really watched a lot of NBA. The problem is the time zones, and I have been doing a few small bets here and there at the NBA, so I kind of keep a small eye on the NBA. But probably the player that kind of got me back into the NBA when I did in about 2011 was LeBron James, because I did pick the Miami Heat to be my team. And yes, they were on top. Yes, they were great. Yes, I bandwagon. Yes, I get it. But I have stuck with him. I'm still a Heat supporter, so at least I haven't bandwagoned over to another team, Golden State Warriors. But hey, I'm still with the Heat. But LeBron is great. I always enjoyed watching him play. I have a huge appreciation for Michael Jordan as well. He's fantastic and brilliant. I'm not a big Steph Curry fan. I don't know, just not for me. I think he takes too many 3-point shots. I don't know. He takes a lot of crap shots. When I watch him play, maybe when I watched him in the playoffs last year when he didn't do so well, he took so many bad shots. It just really frustrated me watching him, try and pull off all this, all this crap. But I know he's doing incredible work this year. He's doing really, really well. So credit to him. He's absolutely killing it. He's probably going to get MVP again. But other than that, really not a lot of other players that I've kind of kept my eye on too much. Like I said, I like the Heat, so Dwayne Wade's a player I obviously like as well. But yeah, I just wish I could watch NBA more. The thing is, like, it's on. The game started at like 10 a.m. in the morning, and there's no coverage here in Australia, so you don't really. If you're not going out of your way to know about NBA, you don't really get the news, so it's kind of annoying. But next question comes from AJ Boris. Now that Tyler Breeze and Summer Rae have broken up, what direction should the WWE push Tyler Breeze? It's pretty clear to me that the WWE have absolutely zero plans for Tyler Breeze. Breaking Summer Rae and Tyler up, well, in the long term, good idea, but for the short term, no, because they obviously had some small little plan for them. They did the Dolph Ziggler thing, but now they're kind of done with Tyler Breeze. Like I said, I predicted when he first debuted, I said, look, I don't think this guy is going to be on TV. By the time the new year comes around, he's not going to be on Raw. He's going to be on Main Event and Superstars. And lo and behold, he is. He's on SmackDown. He's probably on Main Event and Superstars as well. He's just not getting featured at all on Raw. They obviously have no idea what to do with him. They have no plans for him. So breaking him up with Summer Rae is probably good for the long term, because Tyler Breeze should be on his own. Well, at least not with Summer Rae, who just sucks the life out of anyone she's with, and she's just not good. So him being by himself is a good thing, but for the short term, it probably will mean for the next 6 months, you probably won't see much from him at all. And it's pretty clear the guy's been nearly fired a few times. They just haven't really been a big fan of Tyler Breeze. He's been in developmental for 4 years. They just never really been that high on him. So I don't know if Tyler Breeze will ever really make it that far. He might be another Damian Sandow kind of guy. I don't think he has the talent of a Sandow, but he might be one of those guys who's got, he's pretty decent. He's got potential, but they never really explore it. This one comes from Elliot. With The Rock's recent announcement that he will be at WrestleMania 32, what role do I think he will play at the big event? I don't think he'll wrestle. I don't think he'll have a match. I think he'll just show up. He might be the special guest host again, or he might just show up and introduce WrestleMania and kick the show off, or might do a little bit of a segment here and there, a legend segment. I just don't think he'll have a match. I think it's, he might have announced something for the Rumble by now, or maybe after the Rumble. If he's not around after the Rumble, then there's no chance. I have no idea who he would verse anyways. So I just think The Rock will show up. I think he has a very busy schedule anyway. I'm surprised he's going to show up in the first place. So I think he'll just show up, appear, and be there and do whatever. Just, finally The Rock's come back to WrestleMania. The crowd just come out probably in the beginning of WrestleMania to start the show, hype the crowd up, and get everybody in a good mood. I think that's probably The Rock's role at WrestleMania. Alright, so the next question, it comes from Bailey14. What do I think will be the best game of the year in 2016? For me, it's going to be Uncharted. Uncharted 4 looks absolutely fantastic. Huge fan of the Uncharted series. I absolutely love it. So to me, Uncharted, we've been waiting for an extra time. They keep delaying it, but I think it's going to be really, really good when they get to it. I think Uncharted is going to blow us out of the park, and any game will be very, very lucky to even get close to Uncharted's. We've seen Uncharted in the past, very highly rated every time. Uncharted 3, it was a 10 out of 10, so Uncharted 2 was probably my favorite. Didn't get highly as rated, but certainly Uncharted 3, Uncharted 2 were fantastic. Uncharted 1, very solid game, very good game, but I wouldn't say Game of the Year worthy. But definitely number 2, 3 was certainly Game of the Year worthy, if not winning, Game of the Year winners. And I think Uncharted 4 will live up to the hype. I think it looks absolutely incredible. And, we've been waiting around for a couple of years now for it. So I think it's going to be really, really special. So for me, Uncharted 4. Next one comes from J. Rod Anderson. Do you think the WWE superstars need less colourful attires? Like the Usos have a tie-dyed pants. Ryback looks like a Skittle. Do I think they should change that? No, I don't, because colour stands out. Colour gives yourself more personality, more individuality. If every guy came out with black trunks on, it would be generic, they'd all look the same. Having colour is good. Having colour appeals to kids. They're a PG show. Colour, kids, works together. So, colour is good, and I think a guy like Ryback probably doesn't need it, because, he's meant to be this big guy, and like you say, he's coming out every week with all these different colours to him, probably doesn't make him look all that menacing. John Cena can get away with it with a colourful t-shirt. You throw it away and he has the khaki shorts on. It looks okay. But, so colour is good. I don't think it's a bad thing. Like I said, you don't want everybody looking the same. You don't want everybody being bland. You want some different colours, different types of attires. You want as many unique personalities and looks that you can get. And I think having different colour schemes is certainly very, very positive. And the Usos can pull it off. I know there's a lot of people that can pull it off. Ryback, I definitely wouldn't do it, but I don't think everybody coming out wearing black or blue, or everyone wearing red, everyone wearing the same colours would work. Having a lot of different colours, I think, is a good thing. This one comes from Amir Khan. What do I think about the upcoming Australia vs. India series in January, and who do I think is the front runner to win the Big Bash this year and World 2020 in March? Alrighty, so Australia versus India, I was going to go and see Australia versus India in Brisbane. I was going to go to the match at the Gabba. Probably won't do it at this stage. And the reason being is I just don't really have much interest for it. It's just kind of like a throwaway series. Don't really care, to be honest. I think Australia will win because Australia at home is very tough to beat. They're a very, very good one-day team. A few injuries may hamper them and it may make them a little vulnerable, but I think they've got enough talent there to kind of cover. And India just don't play well in Australia at all. And we've seen that in the last couple of years. They just do not play well in Australia at all. So I definitely think Australia will win that. The front runner to win the Big Bash, well, Perth got comfortably beat tonight. I was going to say Perth, so now I'm a little bit concerned. I don't think the Thunder's probably the front runner right now. I mean, the Hurricanes again, I thought they were going to be the front runners, but then Melbourne Renegades beat them. So really, it's an open game. I think anybody, rather except the Brisbane Heat, have a real chance of winning. So right now, I think you're probably the safe bet. It might be Adelaide. I think Adelaide have a lot of depth there. Got some good bowlers. Some talent there in the batting. Travis Head on fire. Brad Hodge, experienced. Ross is doing well. Jay Wardner is just all class. So they have a lot of experience there. So I think it's certainly very possible that they could go all the way. And I think they're very strong at home. I just think they're very vulnerable away from home. And they've got the 40,000, 50,000 at home, cheering them on. I think that certainly helps every game. But when they're away from home, that's when I think they're going to struggle a little bit, and they have. So right now, I just don't know. I think it's really anyone's game. I think anybody can win. The Big Bash, what we're seeing is really one player can make or break. One individual performance has been winning games in the Big Bash. So Chris Lynn, for example, the other night, his 75 won the game for them. So definitely individual performances are really taking over the Big Bash this season, but it's really been entertaining and quality. And like I said, Travis Head, when he got that century the other night, was incredible as well. So definitely individuals are really the key right now. I just don't think there's one team that's overall performing excellent. I would have said the Scorchers, but probably not now, considering they got rolled over in Adelaide. And finally, another one from Amir. He wants to know, could there be a Sheamus vs. Brock Lesnar match at WrestleMania with the League of Nations destroyed by Lesnar at a house show? Would I like to see that? I think the match would be good. For a WrestleMania match, no, but I think a standard pay-per-view match would be good. I would like to see that. I think Sheamus and Lesnar would work well together with their stiff styles. I think it would be exciting to see. But certainly not WrestleMania, no. But, we can do a Battleground pay-per-view or a Payback pay-per-view or Money in the Bank, something like that. Certainly, sure. Why not? But definitely not at a WrestleMania. And I think that was just something to do with the house show crowd. Don't think that really has any further meaning behind it. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for this week's edition of Let's Talk Tuesdays. If you did enjoy the podcast, make sure you leave a like on YouTube, leave a rating on iTunes, spread the word, share the show around to all of your friends, let them know about the show, and keep spreading the word. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Brendan Plays to keep up to date with everything to do with Brendan Plays, and also leave a like on our Facebook page, Brendan Plays Official. Search it up to keep up to date with every video from me so you don't miss anything. Also, check out the website, brendanplays.com. Once again, to keep up to date with Brendan Plays, and also on the forums, brendanplays.com/forums, to discuss wrestling, movies, TV, Universe Mode, Brendan Plays, whatever you want to talk about. The forums is the place to do it. It's got a great community. We are a family over there. Come join the family. And you can also leave a question for next week's episode over on the forums or in the YouTube comments section down below. I think that's pretty much everything covered. I think we're done well. That's a good outro. I'm pretty happy with that one. But guys, thank you so much again for listening in. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's show, and have a great week. And I'll see you all next Tuesday.